Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hudson Bonsai. It seemed like everybody enjoyed the video I made a few weeks ago with a big piece of urban yamadori. So today's video is going to be along that same theme. I actually have quite a little stockpile of rescue trees that I'm going to try to get into pots today. I call them rescue trees because they're all trees that, or plants, that otherwise would have been killed, destroyed, picked up, dug up, thrown away, and instead I'm going to take them and pot them up, and hopefully they'll end up becoming a beautiful bonsai over the course of the next few years. Anyway, I'm going to take you out and show you what it is I have to work on today, and then we'll get started with some of the work. Alright, so here they are. I got a white pine there. That's a bunch of little Chinese elms that were just being pulled up as weeds. I have 3 more large taxus. I haven't really gotten a close look at any of these yet, but they're all quite large. Here's about 10 wisteria and a couple more white pines. I also have this bucket of willow cuttings, but I don't think I'm really going to mess with these today. I think they can stay right in there through the winter. Alright, well this is the first one I'm going to be working on. It's, again, quite a large taxus like the last one and the other 2 that are still in the driveway. Big thick trunk, good thick branches. First thing I'm going to do is just start cutting away some of this root so I can fit it into a pot. Trying to just remove woody root and not any real fine fibrous root, which there is quite a bit of up here in this upper level. It is growing too high from the trunk, really, for my purposes, because the better trunk is down lower. But I hope I get some new roots growing down here. If not, just have to work with that. think that's looking pretty good. That should be able to fit in the pot now. Okay, something like that, no problem. All right, so I got my pot here, and I've already put some of the potting mix I'm using in there, which is just a mixture of potting mix and aggregate. Very nice. Alright, I got this first one finished. The pot's all full of soil, and I've used my chopstick to work out all the air pockets, make sure soil was packed in all the way around the roots in there. It's been out of the ground for days, maybe a week. It still seems to be pretty healthy. It's a it's a little beat up and whatever. There's a good amount of root mass in there. I think this is going to be a successful rescue. This next one here is a little white pine, eastern white pine. This was just going to be crushed over into the ground with a excavator because it was in its path. So I took a minute to dig it up out of the ground with a shovel, and I got a nice good amount of root there, and I think this tree again should survive just fine, even though it's maybe the wrong time of year to be collecting trees like that. A rescue tree, you have no real choice of when you're doing it. It's just do I take it and try to make it survive, or just let it die? Really don't want to disturb that root ball any further. I think I'm going to put it into this really kind of gigantic container. It's shallow enough. I wonder if I can fit it in the seed tray. Kind of hoping not to have to mess with this root ball too much. think I'm going to have to explore in there a little bit and just try to find where the roots of the tree are actually existing and how much of this I can just kind of lose. This just came right off of the forest floor. So there's a lot of roots in here that don't actually belong to this tree. There's a lot of decomposed leaves. There's actually a little pile of fungus there. I'm going to kind of stay away from that. I'm thinking that should fit in there quite nicely now. Sort of. Try and see, maybe it'll fit in this. Try and take a little bit more off. few thicker roots here. Just stuff. That one had a bit of root on it, but mostly just stubs where they were. I cut them with the shovel. Let's give this another try. Most of the roots in there I think this is what I'm going to go for. It's going to keep it nice and shallow. Like that. So I'm going to have to drill some drainage holes in this since it doesn't have any. And when I actually cut it up, I'll put a piece of board underneath it, a piece of wood, because it's not very structurally stable. Alright, well, I got the holes drilled in my tray, and I'm ready to put this thing in there. I'm just going to tuck these roots in. And I'm going to pack most of this native soil right back in there. There's no reason for me to not reuse this at this point. It's only a temporary, very temporary container for this tree. I plan on, because this tree really wasn't disturbed that much, it'll be basically like it's still in the ground. So next year, I'll remove it from this tray and I'll treat it like a freshly collected tree at that point. I'll try to reduce the root ball down as much as I can. I'll, remove a much larger portion of the soil from that root ball. Find where the roots really are inside of that root ball. I won't bare root it because I wouldn't do that with a pine. But I will remove a significant amount of that soil and then get this potted into, a better mix. I don't know if it'll be bonsai soil at that point, but maybe. So now that I've kind of used up what I had there, all the soil that I removed from the root ball in the beginning, and I'm just going to add in some of that mixture of potting soil and aggregate. Get down to the bottom of the barrel here, and it's getting more aggregate than soil. well, I'm pretty happy with the way that's sitting now. It's a fairly decent little tree. It's got, you know, somewhat of a trunk there. I think it'll probably be reduced back maybe after hardening next year. Maybe I'll come in and cut it back some, but my first priority is probably going to get this to be repotted next year. But for now, that's all I'm going to do with this one. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with how it fit in there. I didn't have to mess with those roots too much. The container is, obviously way too big and kind of silly, but it'll keep it alive through the winter until I can get it properly repotted next year. Alright, so next time I'm going to go ahead and pot up a couple of these little Chinese elms here. Let's say that one. Maybe this little one here. I'll pot them all up, and I'm just not going to bother to, film and share every single one. These were all bare rooted just because they were, all just actually pulled up out of the cracks of a sidewalk, actually. So they were going to be just weed whacked or pulled out. But lucky for them, I was there and I rescued them, brought them home. And they'll get a chance to keep on living and hopefully end up as a bonsai and live a good, long, happy life. So, that's all I need to do with them. I've also got here a couple more small eastern white pines. These were also just pulled up and removed as weeds. Go ahead and just leave that one right where it is. There's a good amount of soil in there. So that's going to conclude this video on what I'm calling rescue trees. All plants that were going to be dead. They were going to be either cut down, ripped up, or dug up and just thrown away, and now they're going to get a second chance to hopefully become a bonsai. Thanks for watching. Bye.